almost ready to go live over here. I need to plug my laptop in. No, it's got plenty of battery. My fault. I don't need to plug my laptop in. I think we're okay. I do want to lift this up just a little bit. I'm gonna make myself some tea so I can have something to sip on while we're chatting, and we'll get to making some pizzas today. So if you know, then you know. That's a fun username. If IYKN, right? If you know, then you know. IYKY. When you know, you know. WKYK, something like that. All right. I think we're live over here now, live on every platform. I'm mic'd up, so I think you can hear me. And we've got some light today, so I think you can even see me today. Let me aim this the right way so you can see the counter. Can you see? Oh, let's see if we go down just a little bit more. And over here, I think that could be the right. Okay, let's see. Hello, friends. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tiny Brick Oven, live streaming to you every Saturday from 11 till noon, sometimes a little bit longer if we don't have customers. I mean, we open at noon, so sometimes customers come in. It is my goal to share pizza love with you all across the world, and this live stream forum lets us do that so effectively. So thank you for joining. We've got some nice experiments today. Okay. Be nice with your comments there. It says some comments on this live were filtered to protect the community's experiments. One pepperoni, please. All right, we love that. We'll take requests. Yeah, why not? Let's do a pepperoni. This week, we've got a fun experiment. Last week we made dough with an IPA, a local IPA here in Baltimore, and that came out so nice. It was actually browner, I think, because there's more sugars. Call the segment "Dough It or Not." Dough it or not. I love it. Dough it or not. That's the question here today. So last week we made a dough with an IPA, and it came out really nice. It actually got browner in the oven, I think, because there were obviously more sugars in the beer than there were than there is in water. So then I thought, like, hey, maybe some other people would like this too that don't like beer. Maybe we could try making some dough with apple juice. And so we keep apple juice here anyways for some of the sweet heat sauce that we make. It's an apple juice reduction. And so I took some apple juice, I made some pizza dough, and the results were a little surprising. I'm going to show you. Surprisingly, this dough, it took a really long time to proof up. I usually make the dough, let it proof to room temperature for about an hour, and then I put it in the fridge. But after an hour, it was so tiny. It was super, like it looked like it hadn't risen at all after an hour. So instead, I let it sit out at room temperature all night, and that's how it got to this size right here. They're nicely proofed, I would say, but definitely if I'd let the other dough sit out all night at room temperature. No, Kyle, we didn't get our liquor license. It's a kind of a sad story, but we'll get to the liquor license story in a minute. Basically, these dough balls, after sitting out all night, would normally be way overproofed. But because we used apple juice, for some reason, they took a lot longer to ferment and proof up. And maybe it's because of the acid in the apple juice. It retards the yeast a little bit. I'm not sure. I know it's got a lot more sugar, so I presume that would really encourage the yeast to like go crazy with more sugar. And I know that apple juice will ferment. Maybe it just takes longer to ferment than dough normally does. I mean, I remember as a kid, we'd have apple cider in the fridge, and if we kept it for a couple of weeks, eventually it'd start to ferment and would create hard cider. So here we've used apple juice instead of water for the dough, and it took a lot longer to proof up. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to cook up. I think it could be incredible. Let me adjust this camera over here just a little bit. I think that's going to be better. I think it's going to be a lot better. All right. Anyways, so our dough is nicely proofed. Can I get some sauce and cheese, please? And yeah, I'm just excited to make these pizzas for you all and see if the dough will also be browner with using apple juice the way like it was with the IPA. Beer is so expensive, and apple juice pretty cheap is relatively cheap compared to beer. Um, and water is, of course, is the cheapest of all. So we use a very pure water here at TinyBrickOven to make sure the dough comes out really nice. So we'll see what happens with this apple juice. It should also be very pure since it's made for drinking. And it has a lot more sugar than water. So the dough could be much browner. I'm hopeful the dough will be much browner. So after Dave Portnoy posted our review last Christmas, like just 2 days before Christmas, he posted it. 17, well, we ended up getting about 170,000 emails that were sent to me and my senator and my delegate saying, please help this guy get his liquor license. He deserves it. Nicest guy in the world. I don't know if any of that's true, but we have always tried to spread kindness and niceness with our pizzeria. Many of you may know that we do the snow machine every year, and I'll show you that in just a minute. It's always a lot of fun. It's cold now, so people believe that it could snow, even though it's not cold enough to really snow here in Maryland yet. So, yes, please, can you bring those over here? I appreciate it. So the we had been using an email server. We've been using email server software that allows us to send and receive 300 emails a month for free. It was the freemium. It's a freemium model, right? On your website, we had I don't know some hosting software for our email. Within an hour, we had gotten more than 300 emails. So our email server immediately crashed, and it was like Christmas Eve, and then we're so busy, and then Christmas Day we were out feeding the homeless. So that night, only on Christmas night, did I get to sit down like 2 days later and figure out what happened to our email server. So I'm sitting down with our tech team like at midnight, basically, and they show like, oh, like we had this freeware software that allowed 300 emails, and right now there's like 40,000 emails in the queue waiting to send, which really blew my mind. So we upgraded our software. The 40,000 emails go through. Every day we're getting thousands and thousands of emails. It turned out a lot of people were hitting send over and over and over and over because they really wanted the numbers to be really high, which was kind of fun. But we ended up having to get a script because we wanted to email everybody and just say like, hey, we're sorry. Let people know that we still didn't get our liquor license and that we're now launching our oven. And if you like us to be successful, maybe you could help support that endeavor. Just a few things, to say thank you, let them know we still haven't got our liquor license, to show the response from our politicians, which was super weak, I would have to say. Bill Ferguson and Luke Clippinger, if you're watching this go live, we'd love for you to come in and have a frank discussion about how your policies have injured small veteran-owned businesses like mine. by giving the market their license and not giving us ours. But anyways, the email server goes down. We put in the software, get it up. 170,000 emails come through. We use a script to figure out how many original senders there are because some people hit like send 20 or 30 times. It turns out like 17,000 people had emailed our senator and our congressman, our senator and our delegate. And I thought, man, like that's got to be enough. They had told me before if we had broad community support, then they'd be able to help us. And trust me, we had 550 people before Dave Portnoy dropped that review, and then 17,000 people afterwards. No one has ever gotten, no other business down here has ever gotten that broad of community support. So basically, they said that you could say it was a lie, or maybe they just said it to brush me off. It was an old political brush off. But either way, they have not helped me. They've not helped me get my license at all. They're nothing to help us still. So there's 6 people. I don't think there's 6 people. I don't think they watch it. Yeah, that's probably true, man. That's probably true. They're probably not watching. We're actually gonna go down to Annapolis and live stream that. And so if you see me getting tased or arrested on a live stream when I'm down in Annapolis, I guess you'll know it didn't go that well. So I see Huber there, man. Jake, what's up? How's it going? Beal, we did not get the license. Thanks, man. We think it's the best story. I mean, it changed my life so much. I ended up getting my Barstool score tattooed, man. So it was just, I mean, I think the best Christmas story, the best pizza story. He was so nice to us and really changed our lives. So, but today we're gonna make some pizzas for you. I'm gonna start off with this dough that was made with apple juice, and I was explaining to everybody it took a lot longer to proof than normal. Normally, we make these dough balls, they sit out in room temperature for an hour. We put them in the fridge overnight so they don't overproof. And when we do that, they're normally like almost fully expanded within the hour. Like within an hour or two, they're like fully plumped up. But when I check back on these at the end of the night to put them in the fridge, they had like hardly risen at all. And so that's when I thought, man, I guess I better leave them out at room temperature all night, or they won't even be proofed enough to make pizza today. That's what I was worried about. So I go home, I go to bed, I come back in the morning, and just now they're finally at about the right size. But this dough was never put in the fridge, which usually slows down the fermentation process. I couldn't afford to slow it down because it was already going so much slower. So let's see if the apple juice affects the taste of the baking. It should have more sugar. It could be browner. But it also like took a lot longer to ferment and proof up. So maybe the acid in the apple juice retarded the growth of the yeast a little bit. That's a theory. So that's just a theory. All right, let me see if I've got some hot water over here. I need some tea or my voice is gonna go out. Let me just pour myself a cup of tea real quick. I mean, after the kind of madness that our politicians have put us through, I should be drinking vodka for breakfast. That's what I should be drinking. But instead, I like to keep it healthy. We do a little bit of double. This is our double spice chai tea. I love a little spicy chai. Just gonna put this in here and then pour some water in there. We'll let that steep for 2 minutes. The aroma alone from this tea is magnificent. I mean, you could just smell this and it makes you happy. I mean, it really is. It's wonderful. It's totally wonderful. So let me get a little bit of water to drink in the meantime so I don't lose my voice. All right, there we go. Thank you, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that's much better. Much better. All right. Let's make this first pizza. My tea is steeping. Just remind me in 2 minutes, and I gotta take this bag out of there, or else it gets bitter. It tastes great after 2 minutes. You let it sit in there for like 5 or 6 minutes, it gets this very bitter taste. I never knew that before, man. I thought like you just put like tea bags in and they do their thing for in forever. You realize later that that wasn't true. All right. I do have this idea that we might go on a world tour, or we might tour the United States. So if you'd love to see Tiny Brick Oven come to your town, definitely put it down in the comments. One bite legend. Ah, thanks, man. We appreciate that. Got you, brother. Appreciate you, man. One bite legend. That's funny. I never knew that Dave could make us that famous. I knew his reviews go viral, but ours went super, super viral. That was pretty fun. We ended up getting picked up by the major network news, CNN, and even the UK Daily in the UK, and then the Toronto Sun in Canada picked this up. That was incredible. So, oh, we're getting a lot of comments over here on Instagram. Oh, you said I think he's too focused on cooking. Oh, yeah. Hey, what's going on? Where's your head? Oh, sorry. What's going on over there, man? What do you guys need? Give me your comments over here on Instagram again if you've got a question. We appreciate you. I'm not trying to be too focused on cooking, but I am. We're gonna make some pizzas together today, so we got to do that. We definitely got to make some pizzas together today. Where is my head? Can you see my head now? I think you can see my. Oh, that's so weird. You know what? Let me change the view over here. I see what something strange happened. Let's see, let's hide the vertical. There we go. I think yeah, if you got a vertical view, I think that's messing things up. So we use StreamYard software, and it asked us if we wanted to do vertical or horizontal, and I used the recommended settings, and then apparently that one recommended setting is like chopping my head off. So sorry about that. Luna Ramirez, hi, Waffle 6000, hello. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, Eddie. What's going on, man? How's it going? Eddie and I went to high school together, so that's pretty fun. Definitely, Eddie was like one of the cool kids, and I was like one of the nerds in school. I'll never forget that. All the ladies loved Eddie, and then they would ask me for help with their. They would ask me for help with their homework. So, all right, all right, all right. So this is our apple juice pizza dough. Gonna stretch it just the way I teach everybody to stretch it in my online pizza class. It has a nice gluten structure. I can tell you, it's pretty strong. It's window painting already. I mean, it feels good. It doesn't smell much different than regular pizza dough. It might be a little bit harder to stretch than normal. I don't know if that's because the proofing took longer. We mixed it just the same way we mix all the other dough in the bread maker. I mean, it follows a computer program, so I feel confident the gluten is developed. It's not the mixing making any difference. I think it's the apple juice. Really, the only difference between this dough and our other doughs is that we used apple juice instead of water. And I'm going to put this in for 5 minutes and we'll see what it comes out looking like. Let me get my pizza peeled here. I have spoodle plates with the red handle for sauce or salsa. De rojo, de rojo. Yes, please. Thank you. All right. We use a crushed tomato sauce here. This is a blend, actually, of California and East Coast tomatoes and some of our own herbs and spices. These are all fresh packed, no acid added. Oh, I've got to take my tea bag out. Give me 1 second, or the tea's going to get bitter. All right, all right, all right. I need my cup, my mug. Maybe we could make a pizza dough with tea one time. We'll make sure it's not hot tea so it doesn't kill the yeast. But maybe that would infuse a little bit of this delicious chai flavor. Mm. Oh, that's good. So delicious. All right, let's get back to the task at hand here. We've got this beautiful crust. Can everyone see my head over there on Instagram now? I'm worried because our streaming software had like a different setting for screen orientation and I picked recommended, but now I'm thinking maybe that stream software messed it up and no one could see my face over there. Can everyone on Instagram see my face? Just curious to know. All right. Put 2 ounces. 2 ounces or a little bit less of our delicious crushed tomato sauce. And all right, sauce is spread nice and evenly now. We'll put our cheese on. And when I do the cheese, I like to see about 70% white, 30% red. Just like that. We'll make sure it's still shaking. Should still move nicely. You can see we were stuck there for a little bit, but I got it. Once I shake it enough, it'll come unstuck. And we'll put this in the oven for 5 minutes. All right, all right, all right. While that's baking, let me introduce you to our newest innovation, or not really a new innovation, but our newest fun feature here at TinyBrickOven, and that is our snow machine. I want to make sure you have a nice view out the window. See if you can see. And oh, the wind's blowing it all over to the right. 1 second. Let me take you outside here for a minute. Now can you there we go. Now you can see it. So this is our snow machine. Hey, yeah, please share this. So this is our snow machine. People coming to Tiny Brick Oven in Federal Hill when they're walking by. Some here it's cold. We might just turn on the snow machine, and it creates a lot of fun sights, a little bit of delight, gives a little bit of Christmas spirit. People are often always surprised by it. Not always pleasantly surprised. I'm going to tell you, some people don't like surprises, like I've learned. So we give short bursts so that we make sure that we don't make anyone really angry. Um, Little kids love it though. Like if little kids are out there playing it, I'll just like turn it on over and over and over again, and they go crazy for it. So got the snow machine set up. We're here to incite delight. We've got a pizza in the baking in the oven. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations on your success. We haven't been. There's a few things we still haven't broached. Like we really want to get to, really want to get our liquor license. We're working hard on that, but we haven't gotten any success. Oh, we got people that want to see the snow machine, I think. It's fun. There's people out there in front of the snow machine right now. Maybe they'll come in for the live stream. We'll see. Maybe they'll come in. We'll see what happens. Come in, come in. They're like photographing out there in the snow. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. So why is it so hard to get your liquor license? Well, I think it's a really good question. I guess because I'm not a rich developer. That's the only thing I can think of. They gave it to the rich developers. They won't give it to us. It's a whole corrupt system here. I think people who live in Baltimore, work around here, they're sort of familiar with how weird it is. I mean, I talked to my politicians long, long ago. They said if we had community support, they'd be able to do it. And then after we got community support, then they said there was another reason, and they just kept moving the goalposts. It's a lot of baloney. It's a lot of political baloney. Of course, my senator is up for election next year, and Captain Bobby is running against him. Bobby Le Pen. He's a small business owner here, a veteran. Influencer on Instagram. So, maybe Bobby will help us. I think I'm going to vote for Bobby, unless we can get some better help from our politicians now. We're not doing that well, man. We're not doing that well. Business is very slow now. The whole city's suffering from an economic implosion. The government shutdown certainly didn't help anything. And I'm afraid we're gonna have to close this location. Unless we can get the help that we need, we're gonna have to close this location. It's been a year of amazing memories and like so much fun to go to the One Bite Festival, to get reviewed by Dave, to have people coming from all over the country to visit us has been super heartwarming. But we're back in the same position we were before. We're just not making any money. So, all right. Here is our apple juice crust. How many locations you said we have only one? We're only one location, man. We're only one location. This is the only location we have right here in Baltimore. It's been such a grind with the politicians here not helping us. People in other neighborhoods, start in other neighborhoods where they received the help they needed. They're opening like their fifth and sixth location. We don't do delivery right now. We were having a hard time finding a delivery driver, but we will offer it soon. Let's take a look at the bottom. We got a nice undercarriage there. We got a beautiful char around the edge. I do feel like this is darker than our dough made without the apple juice. So let me cut this up and we'll show you if it flops or not. And then what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to make a pizza. I'm going to make the same pizza and make it with flour instead of semolina. So you can sort of see what the difference there looks like. I think I like the taste of the semolina better, but I kind of like the look of the crusts that are stretched in flour a little bit better. And I'm dying to know if this is going to change the flavor of pizza or not. Everybody knows shouldn't have any flop. When you test the flop, I feel like we need to set a standardized flop test here. When you test the flop, I think you should just pinch it in the middle with your fingers like this. Of course, there are some good pizzas that flop a little bit. DoorDash is terrible. We will never partner with DoorDash. I'm not going to try DoorDash. DoorDash is horrible. Never, never order from DoorDash. At least not when you order my pizza. There's guys that do DoorDash and they deliver like 5 different orders at once. So they don't care if your pizza gets there hot and fresh. They don't even have a bag that fits our pizza, for one. And then they'll do like 5 orders at once so that they're making more money, but your pizza comes an hour late. It's not a good situation for pizza. If you're ordering a cold sandwich, fine. If you're ordering like a salad, fine. But when you want pizza fresh out of the oven, the way it should be, don't order through third party delivery. It's not good. All right, you can see we've got no flop. If we just hold it in the center here with our fingers, you can still see there's no flop. I see these guys cheat. They have like a really floppy slice and then they'll hold it. We'll do this weird like 3-finger thing. They'll be like, look, it's not flopping. It's really not flopping, right? Just holding it with 2 fingers. That's what you see right there. That's a real New York slice. I live in Baltimore. I would love to be a driver for you. Gilbster, if that's true, go to tinybrickoven.com/apply and put your application in there. We would love that. We would love to find a reliable driver. There is a background check required, just so you know. All right. Looks good. You deserve all the success and all time. Thank you. We really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Let me try this. That's very good. One bite. Everybody knows the rules. I feel like the crust does taste a little sweeter. That's the undercarriage right there. Not apple flour. We use apple juice instead of water. It's good. It's really good. Mm. Mm. I think, wow, pleasant, very pleasant. All right. Give me 1 second. mm. Thank you. It is very crispy, very solid crisp, 100%. That's what you need when you're doing a New York style. I think the apple juice does make it a little bit better. It makes it a little more. It got a little bit browner with the apple juice, I think. So let me do one. Let me show you clearly what this looks like with the semolina. If you can see, we've got some nice browning, but also you get this yellow flour, the yellow semolina on the top that makes the crust a little bit more yellow. And I think adds a nice nutty flavor. My favorite pizza is cheese by far. Like I think, well, a Neapolitan or cheese. If I go to a new place and they look like they have good reviews and they look like they make good pizza, I'm definitely going to go. Definitely going to get some a margarita. But if I go to a new place and it looks sketchy, then I'll try the cheese. If they can't even make good cheese, they definitely can't make a good margarita. If they make a good margarita, then I'm happy with that. Hawaiian pizza is pretty funny because it was invented by someone in Canada. It's ham and pineapple. People, Italians hate the pineapple because it's not an Italian ingredient. My customers love it. I think somebody in Hawaii needs to invent a Canadian pizza now. And what goes on a Canadian pizza? I don't know, but all right. So just look at this crust here. I want you to see how that semolina creates this sort of yellowish color profile. And I'm going to show you, see if we can get a little bit of light over here. I'm going to show you on this next pizza what it looks like when we use flour instead of semolina. Man, that pizza is so good. It was so delicious. It's hard for me not to want to eat another. I didn't even get to eat breakfast this morning yet. I just zoomed in here and started setting up for this live stream. Starving. Hmm. All right. Let me get some. Let me get some regular all-purpose flour and use that for stretching this next crust. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I just got to run downstairs. For those of you that don't know, say even in my older age here because I'm constantly going up and down the stairs all day. It's good. It's good exercise. It's really good exercise. So this pizza we're gonna make exactly the same way, but I'm gonna stretch the crust with flour. The reason why we use semolina is because it's first of all I think it adds a nice flavor dimension to the crust, and it's easier for people. Ham and pineapple is fire. Better than pepperoni pizza. This pineapple on yeah, some people love it, man. Some people love a pineapple on pizza. It's definitely can be controversial though. I think it's only controversial because people are like, that's not an Italian ingredient. But so what was the last crust you used? Apple juice, did you say? What was the last crust? Yeah, in so all of these dough balls actually we used apple juice instead of water. I think I think it came out a little bit browner than our normal crust would do because it's got a little more sugar. And it took a lot longer to ferment. Like I had to let them ferment all night in room temperature instead of putting them in the fridge. Is what we normally do. I think the acidity in the apple juice retarded the yeast growth a little bit, which typically isn't good. You don't normally want to add something to your dough that's going to retard the yeast growth. You usually try to add things that encourage the yeast growth. Um, if we added apple juice and we put it in the fridge, I don't think this dough would have been proofed enough to make pizza today. Like it might have taken 2 or 3 days or 4 or 5 days to proof up in the fridge. Because even at room temperature, where it's fermenting much faster, it barely fermented enough for us to have the crust ready for this go live today. So does it make the dough sweeter? I can hardly taste it. I think it might be a little sweeter, but once you've added, the tomato sauce and the cheese, and there's salt in the dough already. Why are people so against pineapple on pizza when buffalo chicken pizza and taco pizza is in Italian? It's a good, that's a good question. Yeah, buffalo chicken pizza is definitely not Italian, and even pepperoni actually is not an Italian topping. And people love the pepperoni. I don't know, man. I think maybe people just think it's weird that there's fruit on pizza, right? So people feel like meat on pizza is normal and fruit on pizza is abnormal. Unless it were like a dessert. Desserts are typically associated with fruit. So, have you tested a gluten-free dough? We've tried a few gluten-free doughs. They're hard to work with. We've got some frozen shells that are gluten-free that I think work pretty well. But also, I mean, I do know that if you get Fiorglut from Caputo, I know that if you make a Neapolitan pizza, so you cook that around 850 degrees, I know that there's a gluten-free crust that comes out really nice if you do that. We tried using that same flour for a New York style pizza, and it didn't come out that well. It was okay, but it didn't come out that well. I think it feels like gluten-free flour can make a better Neapolitan pizza than a New York style pizza. At least that's been my experience so far. Wow, we're at over 3,000 likes already. Thank you all so much for spamming me with your likes. It really means a lot. If you share, like, and comment, that really helps us with the algorithm. So thank you so much for doing that. Let's make this next pizza. I'm going to stretch it with just regular flour. I can see we only have about 10 minutes of our live stream left. So let's see. What's the most ordered pizza on your menu? Oh, yeah. Wow. Pepperoni is by far the most ordered pizza. Um, Next to pepperoni would probably be it's pepperoni, cheese, and then margarita, like top selling order for sure. Pepperoni has been and continues to be the number one favorite topping for pizzas in America. But also, someone mentioned that's also not an Italian ingredient. Like the Italians don't use pepperoni. They use different types of salami and prosciutto, some things like this. Soppressata, I think it's called. It's like a spicy sausage that they put on it. But they don't really use pepperoni. That's like an American addition. So wow, we're at 3,007. This is incredible, man. You guys are the best. All right, let me stretch this crust with some flour, and we'll see. You can see the difference in the color of the crust. We ran out of semolina the other day and started using flour again. And if you use the right amount of flour, I think it comes out really nice. But if you don't use the right amount of flour, if you use too much, then it comes out really white and it can make the flavor, make the taste a little pasty. So we don't like that. And it's always a little bit of a game to use enough so that it doesn't stick, but not so much that it doesn't turn white or make your bite into the pizza a little pasty. This dough does feel harder to stretch. I really think the apple juice somehow made it so it didn't proof as quickly. Like the yeast has not stretched the gluten bands in this dough as much as it normally would. Without the apple juice, these dough balls definitely would have been overproofed if we let them sit out all night instead of putting them in the fridge. So that was pretty incredible. Yes, thank you for sharing the live. We really appreciate that. Please like, comment, and share. That really helps us. Really, really helps us. We are moving closer to launching our oven on Kickstarter. If you'd like to learn all about it, you can go to get.tinybrickovens.com. If you're watching on StreamYard, you can actually just scan the QR code that's at the bottom of the screen. That would be on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you're watching on any of those platforms, you can just scan the QR code at the bottom. It'll take you right to our landing page that explains all about the oven that I built in my backyard. It's actually a much better version of the oven that I built in my backyard 15 years ago. So it's been redesigned to be easier to use, safer, look nicer. Everything about it is very pleasing. Really, it's the best outdoor pizza oven that hasn't been built yet, that hasn't been manufactured. It's been built, but it hasn't been manufactured yet. So, all right. I'm pretty happy with this crust. It's about the right thickness where I want it. So we'll do sauce and cheese. And we'll put this in the oven for 5 minutes. I have to move faster on this pizza because with only flour, can be more likely to stick. The semolina is better about making sure your crust doesn't stick because it's a little coarser. The finer flour, the water absorbs through it faster, meaning you have to move fast. So we'll put it on here. I'll quickly put my sauce and cheese. No explaining this time, just going for it. So we can make sure this doesn't stick to the peel. And I think that's part of I feel like that's part of the deal, right? Like you want to use flour, you got to move faster. And that's okay because you learn to move really fast. Do the same amount of cheese. And if you hang in there till this one's cooked, we'll let you vote on which crust you think looks better, the one with the semolina or the one with the all-purpose flour. I'm going to make sure it's still shaking, and we'll put this in the oven for 5 minutes. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. So our second pizza's in the oven. Any requests for our third pizza? What should we make? We definitely got rated by Barstool for sure. Almost a year since Good of St. Davy came through. That's true. Almost a year. Almost a year. We promised we'd stay open a year. We were not able to get our liquor license. Oh, pre-cooked bacon. Yeah, we like that one. What kind of sauce to use for the white pizza? So we actually make a garlic spread um, that goes on. The white pizza is really for people that don't like tomato sauce. So we make a garlic spread. Uh, that's we had customers asking for it, and they were like, "Oh, we don't like the tomato sauce." So it was like, "Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that." And it's more kind of like a garlic bread spread. Still closing. I'm not sure yet, to be honest. We might have to close. I love hamburger or pre-cooked bacon. I like tomato sauce. It just gets boring sometimes. Oh, that's fair. I never get bored with tomato sauce. I don't know why. Tricolor pizza, almost a nice mix. I'm not sure what that is. What's tricolor pizza? The tricolor I think of is a margarita with the white, green, and the red, like the colors of the Italian flag. So why would it be on the verge of closing again? Well, because our politicians never helped us. They promised they would, but they never did. And I think times are tough here in Baltimore. So tourism is massively down. People aren't eating out as much. The government shutdown like massively affected the economy. It's been a tough run for sure, man. I mean, I think every small business is really feeling the pain. We got lucky because we got reviewed by Dave Portnoy last Christmas when we were about to close. I got that tattooed on my arm here. I wear my Barstool score as a badge of honor to show that we went through the fire. I mean, we really went through the pain. And we were very grateful and honored to have him come and give us a great score like that. Do you plan on relocating to another city or state? Well, I'm not sure yet. We're not going away forever. That's for sure. If we could find a location where they would help, where our politicians would help us, I think that would really be a big factor in our success. So I love the idea of moving to a better location where we don't have to struggle to survive, where we can actually thrive. I might just tour every city next year in a food truck. I think that would be really fun. I think you should go to New Haven. They already have pretty good pizza in New Haven. I don't know where I'm going to move the store to, or if I'm going to move the store. I might just do mobile for a year. I got to figure it out. We haven't given up yet either. Election is coming up. Got another year on our lease here. So maybe we could actually get some help. I don't know. If you see me getting arrested or tased down in Annapolis while doing a live stream, I guess you'll know it didn't go so well. Mobile's a great idea. That's cool. And where come to San Antonio? I love this idea. We had so many friends from Texas come visit us here at the shop. I definitely think Texas would 100% be on the it would definitely be on the tour schedule. I love the idea of hitting Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. There's a lot of great cities down there. All right, I know our pizza's almost ready. I'm gonna put this cutting board over here. Get ready to show it to you all in just a second. What politicians? So Luke Clippinger is our delegate, and Bill Ferguson is our senator. In order for us to get our license, they have to pass some legislation. Of course, they did it for the market right down the road, but they didn't do it for us. So it is almost noon. We're gonna have to go here soon because we're gonna have some outside Columbia Mall. There's a pizza place called Benny's. Yeah, I heard about that place. I heard Columbia Mall is not doing well. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at this pizza. Benny's was actually the program there was made by a one-star Michelin chef. All right, so this one came out a little darker. Here's what the crust looks like when you dust it with flour. And you can see it's very different. It's very different from the way it looks on when you dust it with um, semolina. Looks more bubbly. Yeah, this one might have come out a little more bubbly. It did sit out at room temperature. It did. I mean, it has been proofing just a little bit longer, but sometimes you get more bubbles. Just depends. I think we've got some customers coming in, so let me just show you. Let me show you the new slices here. Come in. Come in. Come in. We're open, man. Come on in.
I was just coming to say hi. I saw the camera on, and I wanted to say I wanted to follow you on your Instagram.
Oh yeah, cool, man. Come on in. We got a live viewer. Come say hello to everybody. We're doing well, man.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
We've got we're doing a little pizza experiment today. We made this dough with apple juice.
Oh,
Hey,
really?
what's up, friends? Welcome, welcome. And then we dusted one with semolina, and we dusted one with all-purpose flour, and they come out a little different. I think you can see like the difference.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So,
That reminds me of New York. I was talking to my wife yesterday, and I was like, I'm craving some New York style pizza.
anyone else want to give a sample?
Absolutely.
Come on up.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? You might have to give a live review on Instagram and TikTok for us.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Of course, friends. Welcome, welcome to Tiny Brick Oven.
You just satisfied my craving right there.
There we go. Tell everyone. Yeah, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Tell everyone. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome, friends. Welcome, 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 welcome to Tiny Brick Oven. Hey, y'all. We've got customers I got to take care of now. So it's been really nice chatting with you all. We appreciate all the likes. We got over 4,700 likes. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Time for me to go take care of customers, and I hope to see you all next Saturday, 11 to noon. We do it every day, every week that we can. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Be well. God bless. See you all soon. I do like Pizza Paradiso in Georgetown. I've been there. I have been there. Eddie, talk to you soon, man. See you later. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Be well. God bless.
I just followed you, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. We appreciate that. Oh, yeah, nice. Chef, what's going on, man?
Right. It's on chop. We gotta do something together.
We got to do that. We got to do that, man.
So make sure you follow me.
Martha's hot now. Yeah.